I focus my career on the marketing aspect and on the consumer psychology aspect of the marketing, on the digital and the offline, of course. And then later, I I started to work. I switched, so I stopped working in the restaurant and I started to work on human resource and also educational field until another tragedy came, and then that was in my family. So my sister got in the medicine school and medical school, and then she also tried to kill herself. And I thought with that, how is that possible? How we came from the same, I mean, we came from the same family. How is that possible? For me, it was such a like a really big hole in my mind that I couldn't understand why people struggle so much, and because I felt happy with my life, and I didn't understand why this happened. And then I continued my career with that in mind, trying to understand how people think as they think. So I focus on the psychoanalysis. I did a post degree, and then also in the leadership, because in the marketing, if you look for the career, I mean, to increase and be successful, you need to go to the manager and the leadership. So I focus on trying to become a manager. And for that, I also started to work in the banking because I needed money, of course, pay my bills. And that's how I built my career until arrived the pandemic. And then the pandemic shake everyone, not only me. And so many people die, and it was really a problem for everyone. And then I thought to myself, what I'm doing with my life, is that really what I want to do? And then I always wanted to live abroad. So I decided that that was the time for me to move. And then I started over again. So after 3 months, I came to Berlin, and after 3 months, I got a job in Idealo, which is e-commerce in Europe. And then I could bring my family. So Diego was in Brazil back then, and then he arrived with my dog and my cat. And I started at Idealo, I was manager as well, leadership, and I had a team of devs because I was a product manager. And then I started to focus on the leadership coaching, because as a manager, you need to support the team, how to develop themselves. And then comes the worst part in my life, because my life was perfect. So I had friends, I have a work, I have my family, and as you can see here, so friends, work, and family. And then I got depression. And what happened is here. I hope you guys can listen to the movie. I hope so. Let's see. Yeah. This year was so far the most difficult year of my life. Not because I'm an immigrant and couldn't adapt, nor because work was hard, even though it was really fucking hard. Not for financial reasons, not for physical ones. And certainly not because Berlin winter is rainy and cold. It was the most difficult year because the sun that warmed and illuminated my life for the last 16 years has stopped. And with it came the cold and darkness of the night. I found myself alone, really alone, like never before. And even though I was surrounded by lights shining around me and decorating my house just like Christmas, I couldn't see beauty because I grew up used to the sun. And the sun was part of who I am, the best part of it. It has been 9 months living in the darkness. But today I understand that northern lights appears in northern countries only because the sun made space for them to shine. This year,
Was also the first time I felt the existence of the aurora borealis and how it is such a unique moment in every single sense. Did you know that in the Nordic countries, people come together to decorate their cities when the sun sets for a long time? Because the lights illuminate not only the city, but also their lives. I came from a country full of sunshines. I had never known winter as they always talk about it. And I found out that in my own winter, I had so many lights to illuminate my life, even some LED-ons. I'm grateful to have so many of them in my journey. And oh my God, long journey. Not because of the time itself, but because of the feeling of cold and freezing of my soul. I learned to be the aurora with many lights around me, to shine with me and support me in the new meaning of my life. So thank you. Thank you a lot for joining me to be my LED lights. I'm enjoying a lot this new phase. I'm missing a lot myself. But I know he's shining. He's always shining for me. But now he's shining inside of my heart. I miss you, Joel. You're gonna always be my Jojo.
Yeah. Ugh. Sorry, guys. So, um, yeah, I cried a lot doing this presentation. Ugh. But what I want to show you is that depression can hit you, can hit you at any time, and you are not expecting things to happen. Um, yeah. So after I was like 1 year, almost 11 months, trying to recover myself. So I kind of lost all the last year, and then I managed to overcome that, do the friendship that I made here in the country. And that's what I want to focus on because it was because of this aspect in my life that I created the Human Wi-Fi. Right now, what I have is I build my own company with creativity, and I help companies to focus on how they can build more product. But why I created the human Wi-Fi? Well, because the human Wi-Fi is about the mental disorder. It's about this aspect that we cannot control and even take us so much of our power of controlling. And there is, you cannot control, of course, this is a mental disorder, but it's a condition which interfere daily in your life, can be in your work, can be in your relationship, makes everything difficult. And it's an emotional part, which makes you feel sad, anxiety, without hope. And this also impacts your social. So it's really hard for you to maintain relationship. You try to isolate yourself, and in the worst scenario, even try to kill yourself. And that's how I really want to focus on with the human Wi-Fi because this is a problem, and this is not a new problem, but it's getting more and more even after the pandemic. And here are some research. Loneliness started to be an epidemic. So it's not something that you should ignore if you feel like lonely. You should try to really ask for help and really try to take care of your mental health. And what happens if when you have a traumatic experience in your life? Of course, mental health or mental disorder happens every uh, day with different reasons, but I want to focus on the traumatic experience that you might have related to relationship. Because if you have a mental disorder related to, for example, your family or any other aspect, the human Wi-Fi might not help. But people who have a traumatic experience related to people, then the human Wi-Fi might help you to prevent. So I want to focus on those three aspects that I created, not created, but that I want to bring you awareness with friends, work, and family. Family, I'm considering not only family that you were born, but family like your partner or your child. So everything that you consider a family. Because if you think everyone here, it's people. So even me as a product manager, I develop products for people to love, for people to buy. And the customer is a person as well. They have those feelings, you have the same characters as you have, your friends have the same, and your family has the same. So when you think about all those aspects, you can control because if people are kind of machine. You need to understand the psychological aspects of that. And that's how I built the Human WiFi. And I wanted to share that on social media and so on. So please, if you don't do it right now, please follow me because I want to create more content later on. Um, Right now, I was without social media for 10 years. I mean, 8 years. So I'm just starting right now. But anyway, what I want to also discuss it's it's not this slide. Let me share the second slide. Wait. Because the human Wi-Fi is here. So, as I said, the Wi-Fi is a strategy, which is a formula, and mean that if you understand that, you can re replicate in your life. And to prove that, I started with this concept in December. So I needed to prove for myself it was working or not. So from December, I started to meet new people to try to build new friendship based on the methodology. So I validated and I really try to keep my mental health, but also the mental health of others because I was overcoming a depression as well. With that in mind, I want to show you three possibilities that you can do it to build networking. And the first one is what I call the Hope Network. The Hope Network is when you Google how to make friends, and then Google told you that, oh, to make friends, you need to do a new hobby. And then you go to the place, for example, the gym, hoping that someone will approach you, hoping that the person will like you, hoping that something nice will come from this day, hoping that later you will become friends. So that's what I call hope network, because you hope that something will happen. And the multi-layer network is that after you do everything, so you hope that a friendship will come. The multi-layer is that you expect and you hope that this person, your new friend, will show you, introduce you for his friend. So it's like a multi-layer. You met someone and this person in theory will multiply your friendship because he will introduce you in their cycle. So it's the multi-layer network. This can happen and can work, yeah, of course, but that takes a lot of energy and time, which I assume you don't have it. So that's why I created the Human Wi-Fi, because the Human Wi-Fi, it's a the Human Wi-Fi is a method that doesn't base on hope. And here it's David, a friend of mine.
Because you mentioned you used my suggestion and then you changed it.
It goes back to the other thing which I told you, Simon Sinek and Stephen Butler. It's from the conversations that we've had since you moved to Germany, one, it has given me a little glimpse into your character and into basically who you are as a person and professionally. That is one. Two, of course, I saw how you were hard going on the jobs and everything until you finally actually landed one. And I was like, I think if she's to give me advice in this direction, for instance, the example that we were talking about, and then you're like, David, if I want Brazilians, I know where the flight is to go to Brazil. If I want to, if I want to hang out with this type of people, I know where that flight is to go and do that. I came to Germany and I came here to make this work. There's nothing that is going to, and I remember you telling me how people are always complaining around you, and then you're like, I don't want that negativity. Off, block it, block it, block it. So to that, I was like, she's actually speaking something she has actually done. And imagine if, let's say, you had done that and you are not doing so well. Then now your advice would be like, I think, Sayuri, you need to drop that advice. I wouldn't have followed it, honestly, if I'm being honest with you. But because you, of course, I've seen you actually do that, with the little interactions we've had, I've actually seen you do that. And then you're speaking about it. I'm like, come on, she's preaching what she has already applied. Why not? Let me try it too. So I saw you do it, and then I was like, yeah, it must work if it has worked for her. And it has worked.
Yeah. Awesome.
So I made my point, I hope so. And now why the human Wi-Fi works? Works because it's based on how the brain works. And the brain's divided in three parts. The first one, it's what we call ethos. It's the neocortex. He is responsible for the logic and how we interpret data, how we interpret language, how we interpret signals that people send to us. That's the ethos, the neocortex. The human Wi-Fi is based on the pathos, the emotional brain, and related to how people feel about something. And the other one is the reptilian part, which is the survival brain. Really, really, really basic. But I want to focus on the pathos, which is the limbic system. Because human make decisions based on emotions. For example, if you see here, if you think about food, we love to eat food that is not good for our health. For example, junk food. We also love to drink, which is not good for our health. Alcohol, or I put drugs, not that I use drugs, but I put drugs just for you to see that most of our decision is based on emotion and not on the rational part. Because if everyone think on the rational part to make decisions, no one would eat junk food, no one would drink, no one would use drugs or smoke or any kind of those decisions, because that's not helpful. It heals us longer later on the day. That's why Freud also said that the ego, which is the rational part, is not the master in its own house. Meaning that even though you try so hard to make rational decisions, it's not the rational part that takes control of you, it's the emotional side, it's the limbic side of the brain. And that's why the human Wi-Fi works, because it's based on the psycho triggers that we have in our life, in our relationship. We have around 21 triggers, but to make a class, I pick 6. And the first one is the authority. So the authority is based on how people see you as someone, for example, as a leader. And that happened before even you talk to this person. So when you see someone with a white, or in the hospital with a white, or using the stethoscope, you think already that the person is a doctor. Even though he didn't say anything, you associate the outfit with the authority that the person has. And therefore, whatever this person talks to you or suggests to you, you will consider take action based on whatever this person say, because you see this person as authority. And this is also related to the leadership, because leadership is a status. Once you recognize that the leader is one person, you want to be connected with this person instantly. And leadership, I say it's a status, is not a title, because status, it's based on validation. So to be a leader or to be authority, people need to validate you as this person. And therefore, you're gonna be someone that people wants to connect with. So this is the first trigger. The second one is the reciprocity. Imagine that, I mean, not imagine, but I had a birthday this week on Monday, and I didn't make a party, but imagine that I make a party and I invited you, and your birthday is also next week. You will feel so much pressure to invite me back just because I invited you to my birthday. You feel the pressure, even though you don't want to invite me, you feel that you need to invite me. And therefore, this is the second triggers that normally people try to do without thinking, because this inside of us is a way of surviving. When someone do something for you, you feel the need of giving something back. And this is one of the other triggers that our minds plays. The third one is the community. And the community is also something that triggers us to make groups to survive. This is on the really Homo sapiens. We as a Homo sapiens, we survive it, and we have the skill of being a group to make the best of everyone's skills. So we are the unique species that can organize ourselves to build something, to work as a group, to really make something out of like building a society. And this is the way we survived over the years. When you feel rejected, that hurts you so much, because based on our basic in our history, when you feel rejected, people kind of left over you. And once you don't be part of a group, you probably will die, because this was a survival skill. So you need to feel connected with someone. And that's why rejection hurts so much, because this trigger us as much as physical pain. And that's why we have so much need of being connected with people and be kind of a group. The fourth is storytelling. Everyone loves a story. Everyone loves to hear where you came from. And when you know someone, the first thing you ask is like, you want to know where this person came, what is about her, what was the trigger, not the trigger, but what was the problems that this person overcome. And that's all about storytelling. People wants to know about you to understand if they can trust you or not. Scarcity is another trigger. When you think that something is really valuable and there is not that many, you think that this has more value than others. So scarcity is something that also triggers, and in marketing we use a lot. So when you think that there is few things like Apple launched something, but you cannot buy it because it's only for few people, you feel that this product is more value than others that have more. So this is scarcity, and you might relate it to many things that happen because marketing use that a lot. And also the last one that I want to bring is commitment and consistency. This is another triggers that helps people to make connections. When you see someone doing something for so many times with consistency, but also commitment with what they say, you build more trustful with this person, other than just to see if that happens or not. For example, if I tell you that I want to lose some weight, but I don't do anything towards this goal, you feel, even though you don't rational think about that, but you feel I'm not that trustful because I'm not doing what I said that I would do it. And that's also when you promise something, but you don't, for example, don't arrive on time, you kind of make the person feel that you're not trustful because you're not committed with something that you said. And there is more 90 triggers, but that it's a lot. And we cannot discuss that here because it's too much. So what is the human Wi-Fi? Human Wi-Fi is analogy with the Wi-Fi, of course. And I want to explain that because imagine that you have a router. You are a router and you are in a room, for example, in the kitchen. But you want to connect with the mobile in the other room. And then what happened? Right now, you're not on the same space. So you feel that this signal that you're sending is really weak. And then you make the effort to go to the another room. And then once you arrive there, you kind of don't connect it at all because even though you are open to connect, you don't feel that the person wants to connect with you. And then comes a pop-up like, oh, this is a reroll. You should not trust in this person. And this happened because sometimes you even don't know why you don't like this person, but you feel that you cannot trust from this person. And this is related to all those triggers that you send or the other person sent to you. Wait, what? Do you want to go?
Just checking the battery.
Okay, Diego is doing something. Hold on. Okay, so the human Wi-Fi, it's what I call the router, the device, and the signal that you send. And those three, it's what needed to build a connection with someone. The router, as I said, it's you. And you can combine so many things. In the human Wi-Fi, you need to understand first the router. Because once you understand the router, you can build your product, you can build your leadership, you can understand what would people want from you as a problem solver. And also combine the triggers that I mentioned before. So the authority to make you a reference of something that you really are special knowledge about it. Also your commitment with something with consistency and scarcity. And I want to point out the scarcity because people think that to make friends, they need to be people pleasing, which is not true. Scarcity is also something that you can use for your behavior, for well-being. When you say, okay, I only have this time, I cannot go anytime that you want to, this is something good because people will appreciate more the time that they have with you. And if you say, but the people that I'm going out today doesn't like when I say that I'm not available, then you need to understand if the right people are the ones that you are connected with, because those kind of things is not good for your mental health as well. You should not go and do things that you are not open to do it. And also storytelling, because once you understand everything that you pass through in your life, you can build a nice storytelling to connect with people and also to learn how people are creating their stories as well. That's what I mean about leadership. So once you understand about your router, you can focus on what makes you a leader in some aspects and topics in your life. So for example, today I build my status based on creativity. So when someone wants to talk about creativity, they reach out to me. And then I became a reference, a kind of a leader in this field. So people validate me with that because they understand that I have the best approach for solving a problem. And this is a trigger that, as I mentioned, it's really common because back on the caves, the people that survived was the people that have the problem-solving approach. Once you are good on solving problem, you are good to be on the same group. That's why this is something people look for, even though they are not rational thinking about that. This is the emotional trigger that I mentioned. And then you might think this only works for introvert and extrovert, and that's not the case, because introvert and extrovert is the way you use your energy. So if you are introvert, you are more related to connect with people in a small group or your family, or even being alone on your house, because that's the way you recharge your battery. Once you are extrovert, you actually charge yourself with more people. So it's the opposite. So introvert and extrovert, it's all about how you manage your energy towards something. So this is not related to how good you are with networking. This is only related to how you charge your own battery. And that's what I meant with the right people, because if you don't understand the kind of people you want to be around with, you probably will make your agenda or your daily routine full of people that you don't want to keep in your life. And that it's not good, because if you are an introvert and you are hanging out or maintaining people that doesn't make any sense in your life, what's happened in the end is that you felt really exhausted. You feel that you don't have energy for anything else, but it's because you don't know how to control your agenda and managing your energy towards the right people. Let me just take the... Okay. Here is the triggers applied for the device, because once you understand about who is the right person for you to connect, you can also connect with people that you consider so as of influence, and also see if they are committed and consistent with something, so you can plan accordingly. Imagine that you want to be a fitness person. Once you know that, you can find people who has the same interesting that you have, and then build your own community. And because of it, you can also apply the reciprocity trigger to make you better networking for both sides, not only for you as a person, but for the other person that it's connecting with you, because then they learn something from you. The reciprocity is like if you teach something or if you share your knowledge with someone, the person will instantly want to help you somehow as well. And that's one of the ways of triggering this cycle emotional side of the brain. The signal is an approach that I like to say because it's not only about communication. People think that to make network, it's only knowing how to communicate with the other, but it actually is not. It's also about maintaining the friendship. And maintaining friendship, it's something that you need to build over the time and with consistency. It can help with time, but if you don't have many time, you feel really connected with someone, it's also about intensity. So if you be connected with someone so intense, this person will feel that they are friends for so long. So time here plays a role only if you don't have intensity in your relationship. But if you do it consistency, you can build your own community. And there is three types of people. So, I mean, not types exactly, but categories. The first one is what I call bestie. So for one person that you feel that you're your best friend, you have 20 people that you know as a colleague. And for those one best friend and 20 colleagues, you have around 1,000 unknown people. What I want to say is that when you think about networking, we only look for our close friends, and for each person, you have 20 colleagues. So imagine that I have Diego, and Diego is one best friend, but I have 20 colleagues connected in my network. But from these 20 colleagues, I have 1,000 people that I don't even actually know that they exist because they were just so vasted, and we have around 8 billion people just for us to see how many we can connect with. So there is, I mean, supposed to not have any reasons for us to feel so lonely because everyone is on the same planet, trying to build the same networking, trying to connect and trying to make the best of it. So we have a lot of opportunities. And what I want to show you is that there is so many people wanting to connect with someone as well. And what is the right people? The right people, it's what I call, I mean, not what I call, but there is three types of right people. I mean, one type, oh, sorry, guys, I'm nervous. There is one type of right people, and this people is, I made an exercise here. So to see who is the right people is try to reflect, how do you see this cup? Some of you look for this cup and think this is half empty, but others think that this is half full. And the right people in the human Wi-Fi is neither, is not the ones who see empty and not the ones who see full. Actually, is the ones who see the problem. And the problem is that the cup is not 100% full. So you should look for the solution. The human Wi-Fi look, okay, if the cup is there, supposed to be full, right? Otherwise, we wouldn't be discussing about empty. So if the problem is that, what should we do to make this cup full? And this is the human Wi-Fi approach. We look for the solution. And that's how people also appreciate networking because they try to understand who is the best approach for you to create your community. And there is three ways of networking. As I said, is the hope networking. It's intuitive but not efficient. Is the multi-layer networking. It's also intuitive but not efficient because it takes so much time for you to know someone and for this person introduce you to their networking. And also there is the third option, which is the human Wi-Fi, which is efficient but not intuitive. Because, I mean, you need to know about the triggers, you need to know about marketing, you need to know about a lot of things for understand who is right or wrong. And I will focus now on the human Wi-Fi because that's all about, right? So the human Wi-Fi is a formula. So first of all, you need to understand about who you are as a router, and 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 then you understand about the device and then the signal that you send to people. And this comes with integrity, because if you don't use your integrity towards that, you're gonna connect with people, but you're gonna hurt people. And that's not the goal of the human Wi-Fi, because I mean, we are talking about things that we don't rational control. So that's how a lot of companies also take advantage of it, because you trigger a part of the brain that the person even don't understand that it's happening. So if you use these kind of triggers to make bad things, honey, that's not the goal. And once you become a human Wi-Fi, you also makes people fall in love with you, because those approach are the same approach that marketing use, that consumer psychology use, and that's why it's super powerful. So it's a must. You should have integrity while you are using this. And now I want to talk about the Human Wi-Fi program, because the Human Wi-Fi is a program that I created for solving the lack of connection skills. And here, as I said, I categorize people in friends, work, and family. And this is a program for people who wants to increase the networking, to make friends, or to find a partner, or even to find a work, because those approach works for the same groups, because we're talking about people, so it's made for people. And this is not made for assholes. As I said, you need to be a really integrated person to use the human Wi-Fi. Otherwise, it's a bomb. You control people and it's not nice. So it's not made for assholes. But what is that? I mean, the human Wi-Fi, it's a program that I built to help you connect with the right people, just like the Wi-Fi. And I built all my expertise. So the router, I combined the psychoanalysis, creativity, product manager. So we use the same approach as the startups, trying to prioritize because of lack of time. Also creating your own product, what's good or not, how to be fast. Marketing and leadership, because as I said, people need to understand you as an authority in something. Also, you need to understand who is the right people for you. So look for the marketing, understanding how to connect with them. A lot of strategy that comes from the marketing aspect and psychology. And also the signal that you need to send is like the marketing, you need to understand about the communication, how to present yourself towards someone. For example, when you are in an interview, you need to know the company, you need to know what is the outfit that they are looking for. You need to know those kind of stuff to actually build connection. And then comes the gastronomy, because gastronomy for me is a way of building everything together. So you have food, which is really hands-on, and the food is also something that brings people together since forever, because food is something that people share and survive together. And also communication, because communication is a skill that it's needed all the time. For whom is the program? I mean, it's not a miracle, it's a strategy. So It's made it for high performance and people who likes to solve problems, logical planners, introvert, and deep of thinking. Also, it's a program that we're gonna do Zoom meetings and lives. So you have an access for 1 year of the recording. And why? Why? It's because for me, it's there. I felt the loneliness and the isolation, but also I really felt impacted when so many people around me uh, felt depressed and tried to solve their problems, trying to kill themselves. So for me, this is the pain that I'm trying to cover with the Human Wi-Fi, and I really hope that you also take care of yourself because this is a huge, huge problem. And once you are in this problem, you actually it's hard for you to see the solution coming from that, and it's really painful. I made some bonus, so I will give a graduation dinner party because I like to celebrate results, and the program it's gonna make a lot of results coming from that because it's a different kind of approach. And also, I will have for all other members, we're gonna have a agile methodology because that's the same approach that we use to work in startups to ensure the progress. And also 3 mentorships session to really make a plan for you to guarantee your results. The same sessions that I do in the creative company. And also a community, because community is something that we need to work together and be supportive and share networking. And there is no risk because I guarantee and I really trust in the program. So I created those 2 types of guarantees. The first one is 30 days that you sign up, and if you don't like or not, doesn't matter because I will not question that. I will just give back your money. But on top of that, I created the 90 days and 100 euros because if the first 90 days, so the first 3 months, if you joined the program and you didn't like it because didn't came with no any outcome with that, you didn't manage to increase your life in any aspect, you're gonna call me and we're gonna make a plan again. And then if this plan doesn't work with you, you will have more 3 months to try to apply the second plan together. And if the second plan doesn't work, I will give you all your money back. On top of that, I will give you 100. So there is no way of not working. It needs to work. So there is no risk. And this program is not cheap because one session is 250. So the investment is going to be a bit high, of course, because the course is 30 hours. And I'll also give 3 sessions. And as I said, the sessions, it's 250. On top of that, you're gonna have 1 year access, all the community, and we're gonna make a dailies. And for the first time, we're gonna have a party as well. So all of them only consider the hours that you're gonna have directly with me besides the daily. It's also 4,000. So, but for this program, I will do 2,097, but I understand that this is my first group and I want to really start really well. So I want to make 95, and there is no risk. So there is no way of not working. I'm really 100% on this. And we're gonna have a lot of work to do together, and that's live. So I don't see a risk for not trying to make your life change. So you have three options. The first one, of course, you can ignore everything that I said. The second one is take the hope approach. So hope that everything is gonna happen and you're gonna make your networking. And the third one is trying to sign up because this program it's really a life-changing, and I really love the idea of making network as a way to prevent mental health. I mean, to prevent mental disorder. So yeah, that's why I put no risk. I really try to make you comfortable with that. And yeah, that's all. So thank you guys. I will open for questions if you have some about the class, about anything. Feel free. And yeah, I will share also the material, and I made an exercise which I will share also for those who participate in the farm. The exercise basically it's for you to understand your daily routine and try to optimize towards the goal and to make you be recognized as authority already. So I really hope it's gonna help you. And if you have questions, of course, you can ask me about the exercise, about anything. Yeah, that's all.